What up, y'all? Welcome back to Set Speaks, and yeah, let's just get into it. I, so if you know me, you know I'm a former NFL player, D1 football player, just a superstar, and yeah, but in all seriousness, I played football all my life, and yeah, let's go down that road for a little bit. So I played football all my life, and my career came to an end, and I was really bitter about how my career ended. Um, I didn't have the NFL career that I wouldn't say that I thought I was supposed to have, but I was living up to something that I thought that other people thought about me and how my NFL career should end, and it didn't pan out that way. Um, and since then, when that happened to me, I didn't want anything to do with the game. I didn't want to watch it. College, NFL, I didn't want to watch no football. I didn't want to be associated with it. I don't want people to call me like said the football player. I don't want people talking about like my old stats. I didn't want to have nothing to do with it. And that lasted for a long, long time. And I ended up moving a cousin out here from Compton to come play high school football. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to coach football here because they're not going to be able to understand him. So I coached that year, and when I coached that year, I was mainly focused on him. I wasn't really focused on like my role as a defensive backs coach for all of these other kids. So that year was good. We won a few games, lost the first playoff game, whatever. But after that year, I kind of realized like damn, I actually like really like football. Like it's not about the game, it's about the camaraderie and the connection and like everybody, all these men having a common goal to win a game, but it's all about the intricacies within what it takes to win a game. That's the beauty of the sport. So that kind of brought my love back for football again, where I started watching college football and I started watching NFL football and all this stuff. And I started training kids and stuff like that periodically. I'm like, man, okay, I'm like kind of like dabbling in it again. This year, no, and for the past 2 years, I've had the urge to want to like coach high school football, and I took the leap this year. And I'm coaching now, and we're coming to the end of the season, and I just kind of wanted to reflect on what I've learned coaching young, 14 through 17, 18-year-old
Yeah, probably 18.
boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and it's interesting because I coach at this school called SMB. And being here, I've been able to be in my full role as a coach, unlike how I was when I was at the school where I was coaching my cousin. And being there, I realized how much I love coaching these young men, how much I really enjoy pouring into them and helping them learn how to develop a skill that hopefully translate into the game to help them perform well, which helps the team.
Mm-hmm.
And our record, our record doesn't indicate the things that they've learned. We haven't won one game. We're 0-8. And so what's interesting about coaching is that like there's so many variables with trying to make a good team. I'm learning something from being a coach with being on a coaching staff, and I'm learning something about being a coach to an entire team, then a coach to my specific position group. Growing up, like I think I always say like I don't care who you are, I don't care if you're an elderly person, I don't care if you I don't care if you're a teacher. I don't care if you my boss is like you don't respect me. I'm not respecting you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that when I got into this coaching staff, I realized that like there's roles within like the staff. There's the head coach, the D coordinator, the offensive coordinator, the assistant head coach, the special teams coach, whatever. And I have all this experience as a professional NFL player, and the coaches on the staff didn't reach the levels that I did when it came to college or professionally. And when you're in a place where like you have so much good information because of where you've been and you want to share that, you learn how to like not overstep because you're still in a specific role. I'm just a DB coach.
Yeah.
I'm not the head coach. I know a lot of information. I know what can help us win, but I know there's a respect there because I can't just come to you and tell you what to do. Because at the end of the day, I got to listen to you. This is your team. that's a really, really difficult thing for me to not difficult. It's a really, really interesting perspective for me because as a football player, I was always in control of my own destiny. I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to do the drills. I'm going to lift the weights and whatever. I didn't have to lead a team. I was the captain of my team, but at the end of the day, I still didn't lead them. I didn't call the plays. I just had to do my job
Right.
at my position, right? So, there's been times this year where like we had like some friction as a coaching staff because we keep losing. And there's times where I've expressed myself like, man, like we got to do this and we got to do that. But I did it when it was my time to speak and I did it respectfully. And what I've learned from the head coach here, and some other like, the defensive coordinator and whatever, what I've learned is that like the head coach specifically, he wants to win. And with that comes getting feedback from everybody about what they think it needs, what it takes to win.
Yeah.
And bro, he is so good at listening, not getting offended. Like, okay. And bro, that like took me back. Cause I think for me, somebody who's super toxically and competitive like me, I will get frustrated. I will get frustrated with that. And when I see him week in and week out, listen to people, show up every day to the meetings, have like the criteria for the team, knowing that we consistently lose, and then getting feedback from his partners, from his staff about what we need to do. It's so inspiring. Like, I don't think I could do that. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do that. Like, for me, it's like most of the time when something goes wrong, most people like to point fingers at what somebody else is doing wrong. He doesn't do that. He just listens. Like, okay, like we can do that. There's been times where I've been like, I've really expressed myself, and he sits there and he listens. Okay, like we can do this. Okay, like what do you think about this? Like, no, like tell me. Like I want to know.
Yeah.
Like how can I say this better? I'm just like, damn. Like to me, I'd be sitting there like, bro, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like you just feel guilty. You know what I'm saying? So like that perspective has been so good for me. And now that I'm in like this full, I'm fully aware and in my role as a coach, I can see those things. Whereas the last school, I didn't care. I'm just like I don't care about the head coach. I don't care about nothing else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm here for Marcus. You know what I'm saying? So that has been really good for me. And I think being in that environment of like a coach and being amongst other men, leading men, we have to make sure that we are right for these young men, right? So now let me go to the players. Now with the players, I know that I have like these accolades that like they look up to, D1, drafted to the NFL and all these things. And what's been interesting and challenging for me is to strip myself of those things so they can see me as said the coach, not said the NFL player, not said the gopher, said the coach. I got to strip away what my accolades are so they know that I care, so they can listen to me as a person and not an NFL player. And that has been challenging because it's like, I know that when these kids see me, they already see me as like this, like the ultimate, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I remember, what it's like when you see professional players when you're young, it's like, yo, like that is freaking Adrian Peterson or whatever. It's like, yo, he's like a god, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know that like, I'm not freaking Tom Brady, but I did do like the ultimate thing that like most of these kids want to do. And when I would come around, a lot of them would be shy to talk to me. A lot of them would like overly do it to like get my attention. It was just like too much. Like, all right, bro, like relax, like cool, chill. You know what I'm saying? And I had to earn. I don't even think it's like earn respect. It's like I almost had to like strip myself and like strip myself of like, yo, like I did these things, but it's like I'm here for y'all though. You know what I'm saying? Like what I did doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like if you want to do what I did, there's certain things that you should listen to me to hopefully give you a chance to get to that point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's been challenging because now you're looking at talent and you're looking at attitude, you're looking at work ethic, you're looking at courage, you're looking at durability, you're looking at all these different things. And when I'm constantly I guess it is judging. When I'm constantly judging these kids on their performance and their attitude, it does something to me. Unlike, it gives me this awareness that I've never really had before. The closest thing I can relate that to is having kids. But my oldest child is 6. She's not 17.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She's not 14 where you're figuring out how to be a teenager. You know what I'm saying? So what coaching has done for me has opened up my eyes to realize how much leadership and guidance really matters for a young person, and how if that is absent, it makes life so much harder for them. And I say this because like I have all different kind of kids on my team, like some with this kids of different socioeconomic status
Sure. Yeah.
in different home situations. You know, I got some kids who are adopted, some kids who live in like project housing, some kids who are well off, you know what I'm saying? And like when you see these different dynamics, you kind of realize that like they are all very, very, very different based on their circumstances. And that is another layer that I gotta like swift through
Yeah.
to figure out who is this kid at the core and what does he want to do. And yeah, that's it.
So I guess I'm going back a little bit, but it's interesting the way that you positioned the whole stripping yourself of those accolades. Because if it wasn't for those accolades, they probably wouldn't listen to you
Yeah.
as much as they did.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it comes to their own vulnerability, so that you can actually help them, it becomes almost not a weakness, but just a obstacle.
Yeah. It's something that they don't, it's something they don't want to show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna name any of the kids, but there's one kid specifically, and you know, he's a baller. And when he speaks to me, he holds back hard questions and assignment questions because he wants to show me that he knows what he's doing. He doesn't want to be asked any questions specifically pertaining to his assignment. So he's almost willing to mess up on his assignment thinking that he knows it instead of having a conversation with me to know that he's doing the right thing. Now, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like why is that? Like, why don't you just come to me? And I think some of it is immaturity. Like they are kids at the end of the day. And some of it is like courage. Like, do you have the courage to actually ask me the question? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and maybe they just want to impress you, and to ask questions a sign of weakness when they're trying to show perfection or almost just strength in front of you, because you have the accolades, you're what they want to be, and so it's like to show any sign of weakness is to maybe not meet your standards, or at least that's what they're thinking.
Yeah, that's what they're thinking. Yeah. And I think that that's a really good point, because I think as I like look at them, because when they do really well, I'm like the first person they want to talk to and tell.
Yeah.
But when they do really bad, they freaking hide away from me. You know what I mean? So I'm always just trying to like understand like what I've done is a really good achievement. It's going to be looked up to, especially by kids. But it's also reminding the kids or showing the kids like, yo, like that is a big deal. But like I want you to see me for who I am right now, because if you listen to me, I can help you with more than just trying to get to the league.
Right.
Like what I'm trying to teach you within this game is going to help you for your life. I'm constantly telling the kids all the time, like, man, like the things you learn now are going to help. What things I'm teaching you now, it's like, I always say like, bro, it's bigger than football. It's not just about the game. Listen to these small details. Listen to everything that I'm telling you, because these details that I'm telling you is going to help you be a better husband one day. It's going to help you be a better father one day. When things get hard in life, you're going to be able to look at life in the eye and fight it and battle it. It's not just about scoring touchdowns and getting interceptions. This is just a tool that we're using so that when football is over one day, because whether you go to the league and play for 10 years, you got 70 more years to live. You know what I'm saying? So this time right now when you're 14 through 17 years old, and I'm telling you to run through the ball, keep your helmet on, finish the tackle, like all those small things, that root thing that you're doing is the fight that's going to get you through life when life gets really, really difficult. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so hard for them to comprehend that because they're not adults.
Yeah.
Right. They're being taken care of, and some better than others, depending on like their socioeconomic status and their parents and whatever. So yeah, that's like what I've learned so far. And like, I like really, really love it more than a lot of things that I've done. And it's interesting that like when I was done playing football, I was bitter towards it and I stayed away from this. And now that I'm in it, I'm back to realizing how much I like love the game, because I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and say like, oh, I see like me in the kids. Like I don't even like that phrase when people are like, I see a lot of like me in you. It's like, what is that? What does that even mean? You know what I'm saying? I see you in you, and I want to get the best you out of you. You know what I'm saying? I know how to pull that out of you, but you got to listen to me. But first, you got to trust me. Mm-hmm. But trust is my responsibility, not yours. You know what I mean? Like I gotta like let you in and let you know that I care about you and learn about you. I'm constantly asking the kids like, how many siblings do you have? Because you can learn a lot about a kid, especially a young boy, about how many siblings he has. And then are they the oldest? Are they the youngest? Do they have brothers? Do they have sisters? You know what I'm saying? And then when you ask these questions, you just learn more about them. Or you kind of understand like their mannerisms and their behaviors based on like their siblings and stuff like that. So it's just fun, man. And it's like it's learning. I mean, it's teaching me so much, and it'll be interesting to see what happens the next few years, because I plan on coaching really as long as I can now.
Do you see, I know they're all coming from different backgrounds. Mm-hmm. Do you see anything among all of them that's all like a consistent pattern in the way that in who they are as young men? That in the sense of, I guess what I'm basically asking is, is there anything where you think, man, this seems to be a widespread issue, if you will, and we as adults should be like focusing on that more so that it isn't? And I think issue is a harsh word. That's not the one I'm necessarily. I'm not trying to like beat down on these people. It's just more of like, I think now young men are becoming a greater focal point than ever before in society of kind of being left. Mm-hmm. And that's creating, you know, like the Andrew Tate stuff, if you will, and things like that. Is there something that you see in them in which, you know, as adults, we should be doing more to assist or help? Or does that make sense?
Yeah. One thing that I always say is like, I'm always trying to meet the kids where they're at. Like I'm always going back. Like I literally see this in my head. Like, okay, I'm like this like giant, right? And then I like come down to like look at them in the eye and like see their world at their eye level, right? Obviously, psychologically, like some of them kids are taller than me. You know what I'm saying? So psychologically, I'm trying to bring myself down to their eye level. Mm-hmm. I think that's all we need to do, because the stuff that they're dealing with now are the same things that we were dealing with when we were their age, but it's like times 1,000 because of the access with social media and the comparison and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, all right, like how can I instill confidence in them, knowing that they're consistently comparing themselves to people who they don't know and people who they do know, and they almost know two people because the one on social media than the one that they see at school. So I'm always just trying to like come down and see like where like live in their world and try to communicate to them in that way while also being like a grown man. You know what I mean? Like understanding like their lingo and understanding like the things that they like and like the ways that they like to communicate, and like because if you do that, then you can start to see like their mannerisms, and you can start to see like what makes them tick and what makes them go, what makes them not go. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's not like this overarching theme for young boys. I think it's more about like understanding that they're kids and coming down to their level and seeing what it is that they're essentially dealing with and what they're consuming, and then trying to relate to them there. Like I don't know why this popped up in my head, but there's this guy on TikTok who would like play Fortnite. This is like the best example that I can think of, but he would play Fortnite. This is gonna sound bad, but like it's his content, not mine. So he would play Fortnite with other kids, and he would like speak about God. So he used Fortnite to preach the gospel, I guess. But no matter what he's doing from a content perspective, he's going down to where these kids are at by playing the game with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I said it out loud, it kind of sounds creepy.
So let's just jump away from that really quick. You're basically saying like you use football to teach these kids greater aspects of life.
Football is the vessel.
Yes.
That's all it is. Really Football's a vessel. That's all it is. Because if you understand like what your strength is, and if you can use that strength to like help, you should do that regardless with anybody, whether it's kids or whether it's a group that you're in, whatever. It's like use your strength as a vessel to like get the bigger, message across, I guess is the best way that I can explain it.
And what, like, if we're being honest, already said it. You went 0-8. How do you then keep them on track when they keep losing?
Well, I think the biggest thing is like I think with my position group specifically is like they know that I care about them.
Yeah.
And I always tell them like, bro, wins and losses like they are important, but it's not it. Like look how much better you guys have gotten every single week. Like look at your play. Like look at the notes that I give you guys every week. You guys are getting better every single week. That's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's a team game. It takes 22 players to get it done. And that always gets them to have perspective like, yeah, damn, yeah, he is right. Now, if you get a play made on you, get scored on, it's a little different. If you get a game-winning touchdown made on you, it's like, that's tough. You know what I'm saying? That hasn't happened to anybody in my position group where they got a game-winning touchdown, really, because people always have a bunch of points on us, and there's no point. there's no way to get a game-saving touchdown on us. But, yeah, I think that's really what it is. It's like they trust me. They know that I care about them, and I care about their progression and understanding that, like, this is a team game, and we're doing everything that we can to help the team. And that's, like, life, too, man. It's like you only can do so much within, like, the confines of, like, a team or a job or in a marriage. The other people have to contribute, too. But as long as you're doing everything that you can to contribute to the team, it's still going to suck to lose, but you can leave out that game like I gave everything that I had. And that's all that really matters.
Yeah. Do your job.
Yeah, do your job. Bill Belichick, best quote of the year. Oh. But yeah, that's all I got for that one. So, yeah, that's all I got. So I will see you guys on the next one.